All right, eighth graders, me again, Mr. Petter. I would just like to quickly, I'm gonna make this video a little bit shorter. So quickly go over the rules and expectations, the safety procedures. I know that a lot of this was already covered in the syllabus, so we'll just we'll just skim through this real quick. All right, the rules. Number one, you have to show up to class on time. That is whether you are at home or in person. All right, and if you are at home, there will be pretty clear expectations on when you need to be online. If you don't hear anything, I would recommend just taking your class period time and trying to find a way to make that work for you to complete your assignments. Okay, I would say that's just the best practice. Come to class or at home or be at home with all of your supplies every day, including your Chromebook. Okay, we will be using our Chromebooks daily. So please make sure you bring your Chromebook. Please make sure that you bring a sketchbook and also your number 2 or mechanical pencil. All right, all cell phones must be out of sight. Obviously, if you're at home, I cannot control that, but I would recommend putting it possibly on the other side of your bedroom or in a drawer so that you're not distracted. All right, all cell phones must be out of sight unless I give you permission, which, guys, believe it or not, I give you permission in this class. I do. Should I? I don't know, but I do. And the reason I do is because I believe that some students work better if they have music in their ears. All right, notice I said their ears, not everybody's. So if you have your phone out, it is only for music. You do not need to be on Snapchat. You do not need to be on Instagram. You do not need to be on TikTok making TikToks of Mr. Petter with his mask on. All right. No cell phones unless you would like to listen to music, which is fine. Okay. And you have to have your own headphones. The one thing with music is I do ask that you only have one earbud in, because if something happens or if I need to get your attention, you should be able to hear me easily first time. All right, so maybe it's a good idea to kind of keep the noise down a little bit in your headphones, but you must have at least one ear free so that you can hear what's going on. Treat others the way you would like to be treated. We talked about that. Do not talk while I'm student or another student is talking in the room. Keep hands and feet to yourself. We talked a little bit about sanitation, actually quite a bit, about sanitation, hygiene, things like that. Listen, we really do need to take this serious, and I'm taking this pretty serious as well. So we're going to make sure that this is almost zero tolerance. If you're putting your hands and feet on somebody else, it's not going to be a verbal warning. You're not going to get a warning. It's probably going to be sent directly down to the office, because unfortunately, just the way that things are right now in the world, we have to take these things seriously. So I just want to kind of make that very clear that if you're putting your health at risk, and more importantly, somebody else's health at risk, then that's going to be handled pretty seriously. So, or I should say very seriously. So hopefully everybody kind of understands that. There are face masks required. I do know it's in my syllabus, but I'm not sure if it's in this just yet. But there are face masks that are going to be required. So if you are within 6 feet of anybody, you must wear your face mask. If you are within 3 feet of somebody, I'm going to make sure that your hands and feet are to yourself, and I'm going to ask you nicely to separate at least 3 feet. Okay, if you actually think of 3 feet, okay, I always think about this, and it's always kind of funny. When you're standing on a football field, okay, maybe in gym class, 3 feet is 1 yard. That's not far. It's not far at all. So 3 feet, you can talk 3 feet away. You can, excuse me, even with a mask on, you can clearly talk 3 feet away. Me personally, I don't want to be within 3 feet of somebody anyway. So 3 feet apart, no excuse, really. Now, if you have to squeeze by somebody, just let them know. Say, excuse me, whatever. But 6 feet is really the safe ground. If you are more than 6 feet away from somebody, I would encourage you to pull your mask down, get some fresh air. If your parents think otherwise and they would like you to keep that mask on, by all means, keep it on. That's totally fine. Because everybody has different opinions. There are obviously recommendations and some requirements from your teachers, but let's just make sure that we're being respectful of everybody's thoughts, beliefs, everything regarding what's going on in the world. And that's just kind of my approach, and I think everybody should have that approach. Do not touch other students' artwork. That's a big one. Number one, I do not want people helping each other actually create artwork. You can help each other through the process, but do not help each other actually demonstrate what's being asked. Also, believe it or not, we've actually had some people vandalize some artwork in the past, which is zero tolerance. Obviously, it's not going to be something we take lightly. So just keep your hands and feet to your own artwork and we'll be good. Do not touch equipment or materials. That's another thing with materials this year. We're not going to be sharing as much. We may be able to use supplies safely using proper sanitation and things like that. But for the most part, we're not going to be passing back and forth pencils and things like that. All right, so consequences, cell phone policy. Anytime a phone is out without my permission, the student's phone will be taken to the office immediately. Okay, number one, I am not allowed to hold your phone. I'm not allowed to hold your phone all day and say, oh, just pick it up at the end of the day. So a lot of times in the past, when I've taken a cell phone, kids are like, oh, Mr. Petter, I thought you were cool. I thought you would keep it and let me pick it up. Unfortunately, I'm just technically not allowed to do that. So every time I see a phone, I take it, put it in the office, and they mark you down as a referral. Chromebook procedure. Students are not allowed to use a Chromebook unless it is issued to them. I just read that completely backwards, but it's the same meaning. You're only allowed to use your Chromebook. You are not allowed to share Chromebooks. All right, especially right now. You're not allowed to share Chromebooks. Any student freelancing on his Chromebook will be asked to turn it to sleep mode or off and put the laptop away. Freelancing, basically just another term of searching the internet, doing something that you're not supposed to do. Chromebooks are to be nowhere near art supplies that could cause damage. All right, this year I think that'll be a little bit easier, but just kind of keep that in mind. No food or drinks. I personally am probably going to be okay with drinks as long as they have a cap on them. But we don't want that mixture with any materials or supplies that we're using in class. Clean up all spills as they occur. Clean your art equipment immediately, especially this year. Clean, clean, clean. If you use a paintbrush, clean the whole thing, the whole handle, with soap and water. Cuts and wounds should be protected with Band-Aids immediately. I'm perfectly fine with sending you to the clinic. It's not an issue. Always wash hands thoroughly. Never been more important than right now. Wash hands thoroughly. Every classroom, every hallway, you will have a chance to sanitize your hands so much that it's just going to become normal, which is, probably a good thing. Never go into the kiln room or the supply room without my permission. We do have a kiln room, which is very cool. I hope we get to use it, which involves clay, and you get to make something out of clay, create it, put it in the kiln. It's a pretty cool process, but we don't want anybody back there because number one, you're unsupervised, and number two, there's some expensive materials back there. Most art materials can be staining. So if we are working with acrylic paint, I would highly recommend not wearing your brand new $200 LeBron James tennis shoes. I would recommend not wearing your Yeezys or your Adidas hoodie or your brand new Baker Mayfield Browns 2020 Super Bowl. Here we come. Just kidding. Sorry, I got carried away. Probably wouldn't wear your super nice clothes, or at least have an option to put something on over top. Okay. Safety violations, consequences. All consequences regarding safety in the classroom will be reinforced much more heavily than other procedures or other rules. The first offense, you will most likely get a warning, but sometimes like if it's careless or intentional, you will be written up, sent to the office right away. Unfortunately, the way things are right now, we're just not going to be able to tolerate as much. So the behavior is going to be very important to keep everybody safe. Anytime jeopardy or anytime safety is jeopardized, it will not be tolerated. All right, grading policy we talked about. You will not have homework unless you're always at home. Then I guess technically it's considered homework, but you should not have homework. So hopefully everybody has a good kind of clear grasp on these rules and expectations and procedures. I don't foresee things changing too much for the time being, but if you have any questions, obviously feel free to let me know, and we'll work our way through it. And again, I'm looking forward to getting things started. It may seem like there's a lot at the beginning, a lot of rules. I might even seem a little strict, but trust me, you're going to have a good time in this class, and things will lighten up. So, all right, hopefully everybody has a good rest of your summer, and I will see you maybe even by the time you're watching this video.